Well, here we are. We're back with the Vacuous perspective. I'm Val, and you are?
Nate.
Nate. And we're back. Holy moly.
I just realised I doxed myself last week.
Did you?
Yeah. I was telling a story. I used my name in the third person.
Right. I think I was meant to pick that up. And you almost got my birthday right. So, hey, we're kicking goals left, right, and centre. So, I did. I got a comment, right?
Yeah.
Someone was like, "What's the email?" Right? They didn't know the email.
How do they know? Have they listened to 5 seconds?
They've been listening, but they said that they didn't know the email.
Oh, gee, I don't know if we've been quoting the email. Now that I think about it, we say we're checking the emails, but we don't say the email anymore.
Well, this sort of goes to what he was going to say. His sort of big point is that what frustrated him is that the bit that we were doing was the Chat GPT writes emails to us, positive and negative. It was that sort of part of the bit where we weren't getting it. We didn't get an email, so we got Chat GPT to do it for us. And in that whole segment of us talking about the emails, we didn't even give out the email. So he couldn't send the email.
Yeah, that's on us, isn't it?
About the email thing.
No.
Vacuousperspective@mail.com. There you go. There's the email.
There it is. Yeah.
Got it out of the way nice and early today. I did check the emails. Guess what?
Nothing.
Got it. What's been happening? Nothing. Anything fresh?
Oh, my mouth's fresh.
Oh, hello.
Mouth fresh. Got
Mentos.
No, Mentos. Is it Mentos or Mentos? Mentos sounds big.
I think they're
gross.
Mentos, but
Mentos.
Mentos doesn't
Just realised
sound
I've
much
been
better.
saying Mentos my whole life.
Well, no, I think the Americans say Mentos.
Look,
No, the ad. Dinner for love nights, Mentos freshness. So it's Mentos.
Yeah, Mentos, jeez. That is rough. That is a rough name. But I got a Waterpik Nano.
A Waterpik Nano.
I don't know if you've been to the dentist in the last 2 decades.
Right.
But last time I went,
yes,
I go every 6 months just on my health insurance, basically. So, yeah. I mean, if you got it, you may as well use it.
Right. Is that the thinking? Right.
That's my thinking.
That's good thinking.
And I have never had a bad experience at the dentist.
Wow.
So when I hear everyone talks about these times when, dentists, they're in pain and everything, they're uncomfortable, I really enjoy it.
Yes.
I feel like a hippo with a bird in my mouth that's cleaning it. Yeah, have you ever seen like a David Attenborough and the hippo opens up wide? Sure.
There's a lot of animals that do that. Some live alongside whales and stuff like barnacles.
Yeah.
It's a bit of symbiotic activity. The hippos understand that the relationship is this bird's a friend at the moment and it wants to help and get something out of it.
Well, that's my relationship with the dentist. In that he gets money from my health insurance and I get cleaner teeth and someone having a good look at him. And he's been him and his dental nurse person that does the scale and clean. She's the scale and cleaner. If you don't need any serious work, just the nurse kind of handles it and gives it a little like polish. She is always banging on about like flossing, and I'm always apologizing for not flossing enough. And she does this scare tactic about how your gums can kind of recede away. Like you need to strengthen them with the floss so that they encounter hard times and they get stronger. Otherwise, they're just kind of going to erode and then you have, massive problems, right?
Right. So a couple of possibilities there. Either she is just, sick of it. Just had a gutful of, shit clean jobs, right? So she tells people this so that when they come next time, it's way, way easier for her. She's had a gutful. She doesn't want to do it anymore.
She's had an absolute bellyful. And she says that you can get some kind of, I think it was like bacteria in your bloodstream from not flossing or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just like, I literally just Googled it because I've never done it before. When you don't brush and floss regularly, it can lead to gum disease because streptococcus bacteria build up in your mouth. Gum disease leads to sore gums that bleed, allowing bacteria to enter the bloodstream.
Right, but there's good bacteria and bad bacteria. It could be some good ones in there as well.
Yeah, I don't
Let's
know
hope
if you
they
want
win the battle.
Sepsis. That's
right.
just
that's
bacteria.
Not a good one, is it?
No, I think that's just general bacteria proliferating in your bloodstream. I don't actually think you're supposed to have bacteria in your bloodstream.
Shit.
I don't think you're supposed to have a couple. That. You got a couple. We probably all have a couple, but I think it's quite a hostile place to be as a bacteria.
Right. There's a lot of things that will attack you.
There. Just for being there. Not. Yeah, it's like you're just not really supposed to be in there. So she says that instead of, because I'm not flossing, she's like, hey, try this. I think there's this new thing. So you don't floss, you floss with water. And it's a little high-powered sort of jet of water that you run along your gum line. And so you're flossing with water.
Great.
But I've been enjoying it. It's kind of weird. But I don't know if I'm being scammed either, because it feels like a scam. Because I'm just spraying water in my mouth.
Sometimes it feels like a scam.
I mean, the magic of water. Like, you know I like water.
Yeah.
We've talked about water.
Love water.
Ad nauseum on this show.
But I've had a similar experience with like cleaning products. You know, the magic ones that they show you on the telly and they go, you just pour it on and wipe it off. And, you know, look how dirty this thing is. Wipe it off. Done. Right?
Is that one of the ones where they'll give you 2 for the price of 1?
No. I'm talking more. I saw it on a Bunnings ad.
Oh, I thought it was one of the ones where they give you $140 worth of value.
Love those ones.
For $20 if you call in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, and you get 2.
But this isn't where it ends.
Yeah.
For the first 20 callers,
wow,
we're gonna double the amount of stuff we give you for the same $20. So you're getting $280 of value.
You're
for
crazy
$20.
If you don't buy it. You're crazy. If you don't buy it. Whatever it is. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't even matter what it is. You can the resale. Think of the resale.
My God, you just better call 20 times.
Yeah, so this is the reason I think it's a bit of a scam is the dentist gave me some marketing material, which I was like, they seem to be in cahoots.
You think that maybe she's getting a cut?
I think they might have, shares in the company or something.
Shares.
At a minimum.
It's not a conflict of interest?
Because listen to this.
Mm.
Okay, so these are some quotes from the marketing material. The gold standard in flossing.
Wow.
Clinical research confirms that the water pick is significantly more effective than string floss, interdental brushes, and air floss for removing plaque and improving gum health. Significantly more effective. They're strong words.
I'm sold.
What about this? I've put a number to it. Up to 33% more effective for removing plaque versus an electric toothbrush alone. Removes up to 99% of plaque from treated areas.
Up to 33% could be 5%.
It could be 1%, couldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Up to that. That's like a best case scenario.
Best case scenario, 33%.
So they couldn't get any more than that in the data. That was they did it 100 times, and they were like, "We've got that one was 33%. That is the best." And also, I think they liked that number, like 33.
Yeah, it's a great number.
Mm. Yeah, so I don't know. I've had it for a week now, and I actually have been enjoying it, but I don't know how much it's doing. It wasn't super cheap. It was over $100.
Well, what you do is you get shares. Because it could be, if it's up to, if they were just being humble, you might have thought they would say something like, but it's between 20 and 30% more effective. But no, it's up to. Let's give it to them.
Yeah, we'll give it to them. I'll let you know how it goes. Well, the dentist did say, "Hey, I recommend this thing," but maybe it's because he sees a problem with my like gums or something. Like you need some help,
or he's got shares.
or he's got shares, but he said, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about it next time I see you.
He wants to know if you're using it.
Yeah, which is also kind of like, it's like assuming I'm going to buy it. It's like next time, it's like homework. Next time I talk to you, I'm wondering if he's going to bring it up. Next time he goes, hey, how's the water pick?
Yeah.
If he's got notes in his...
He would.
In my file.
Yeah, he would.
What did you do for Earth Hour? 8:30 on Saturday.
Oh, God. No, that wasn't very earthy.
Did you have the aircon on and the heating?
No.
How many screens were you looking at the one time?
Oh, at least two.
At least two. We're always looking at two screens.
Yeah, at least two. What did I miss? What happened?
Oh, you missed a symbolic gesture of solidarity.
Mm-hmm.
You missed feeling good about yourself, giving yourself a pat on the back.
Shit. I can do that. I can do Earth Hour. I'll do an Earth Day soon. I'll just turn everything off. I'll pay back. I'm going to pay back the Earth.
Yeah, so... Oh, no, hey, so I did some homework.
I didn't do anything. You did homework.
Yeah, I did some homework. Actually, not just the water pick.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Outlast.
You watched Outlast?
Did I tell you that? Yeah, all of it. Yeah, have you?
No.
Have you watched it?
No.
Oh.
Hang on. I watched...
Where are you up to?
I watched the bits that I told you about.
Yeah, the bear.
The bear.
There's a bear. There's a bear in
So
there.
to surmise, it's a Survivor-like show, but they just drop people in Alaska, and the only way to get out of the game is by surrendering, essentially, and saying, I've had enough, had a gutful, get me the shit out of here, I'm done, right?
And I'll just add that you have to be a part of a team, or
you have to be a part of
you're
a team.
Forced
you can't
out.
Be a lone wolf.
So if nightfall comes and a team hasn't taken you on board, or you're not part of a team, then presumably you have to fire your flare.
I didn't know about the nightfall thing. Does this come into it? Is there someone left at dusk?
Well,
what's going on?
No, but there is a time when a team rejects a player, and the player just has to go fall on their sword. It wasn't nightfall, but they weren't going to have a team. So there was one team he had burnt his bridge with, and there was only one other team remaining. So he went there. He did something to burn his bridge there, and so they told him, "You're out." And so he just walked down to the bank with the other guys and fired off his flare and said, no hard feelings.
Wow. Powerful.
But all I'll say is the whole fulcrum, the crux of this show basically came down to a guy lying about a fart.
The crux of the show came down to a guy lying about a fart.
That's my summation of what happened. If I'm going to distill it all down to sort of one moment that sort of made or broke the whole fabric of the show, a guy lied about doing a fart. I don't know whether he did it or didn't.
You don't know. So context here. A fart happened. Someone accused him and he said it wasn't me.
Look, I think there was a fart, and then I'm confused.
Why is this fart breaking all the time and space?
Well, they think that the people in the team think that he was stealing rations, and they think the fact he lied about the fart is corroborating evidence that he's a jerk.
He's a
liar. He's a liar. They're like, yeah, they lied, and they even confront him about it. They're like, yeah, you know the rations, you stole the rations, and he's like, man, I didn't. I promise I didn't. And they're like, yeah, and you know what? You lied about the fart. And he was like, you got it all wrong.
No, he's saying I didn't fart.
Well, I can't remember if he said whether he owned up to it and he didn't, or I can't really remember whether
they're saying we can't trust you because you're the kind of guy who won't even own up to a fart.
Yeah, these girls ganged up on a bloke saying that he lied about this fart.
His fart smelled like rations, and they were fucking pissed off. They're like, oh, I would have loved to have enjoyed that, in my mouth, not in my nose, if you know what I'm saying.
And the reason I think it was important is I don't think they were ever going to suspect him of stealing rations if it wasn't for the fact they thought he was lying about the fart in the first place. So it all sort of stemmed from this mysterious breeze.
Wow. And we're going to find out in one of the books in 10 to 15 years' time that it was actually one of the girls that farted. She set him up. She set him up with a fart. She was burying the rations and farting in the tent.
I want you to watch this, but there is actually 2 girls in this show where if they ended up winning, I was going to write an angry letter to the producers.
Why? Do you think they did it not fairly, or what happened? Why are they undeserving?
They were so annoying. They're bad. They're very bad people. Very bad people. Yes. Frustrating pieces of shit. Yes.
But they were together on a team?
Oh, mate, I reckon they were scissoring like all night long just to stay warm.
So they were on the same team,
yes.
And they were the last 2 on their team?
Yes, and they're the ones that ganged up on this fellow as to whether he farted or not, the fart guy.
Wow, yeah. I will watch this show. I need to get to Fartgate ASAP. I want to watch that shit. That's great.
You might not see it through the same lens as me, but I think now that I've mentioned it, you'll see. You'll see where I'm going
I'll know
with
the moments. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll start like a small thing and then it'll just keep.
To look forward to. Guy farting. Or not.
Hey, you mentioned something to me after the show last week and I hadn't heard about it until you mentioned it.
What was that?
So I went away and started Googling about it when I was going to bed. About Trump reckons he was going to get arrested.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, and now it's been a week later. Nothing further.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know.
We would have heard. Of course, if the first US president to ever face criminal charges had been arrested.
Of course. Haven't heard anything. Did he say something?
He was sort of adamant that charges were coming.
Pending.
And his lawyers had even made arrangements with the New York Police Department as to him flying in and whether. So if a warrant was issued, he already had an arrangement where he was going to fly in. They were going to take him from the airport to the police station, and they agreed that he wouldn't have to be handcuffed. So they had like a special arrangement in place in the event that a warrant issued.
Sure. You got to be a particular kind of person to get that kind of treatment. Right?
That is special treatment. Yeah. That is not everyone is treated the same.
Oh, so you want to arrest me? All right, let me jump on my plane. I'll fly over there, and you can take me in. I won't be handcuffed. And
it's like the terms. He's dictating the terms of his arrest.
Sure.
But do you know what it's about? What's going on there? What these criminal charges might be?
I'd say, from what I've heard, it's something to do with the hush money from Stormy Daniels, the porn star.
Some adulterous affair, alleged.
Sure.
Adulterous affair. But it's not illegal to pay someone off.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not illegal to pay someone hush money. Apparently, the problem is they recorded the fee. He paid his lawyer legal fees, which were then paid to Stormy Daniels,
right,
as hush money. And so apparently that's falsifying business records, which is a criminal offense in New York.
There you go. But Trump didn't have to catch a plane on Tuesday, so we don't know anything.
No. So obviously maybe they're just not that. I think it's good publicity for him, to be honest. I think he might even just be talking this up. I don't even think they were about to arrest him, though. I reckon he's looking at something minor that he could be arrested for, and then he comes out and goes, hey, they're going to arrest me for this, and they're looking at each other going like, is anyone looking at this? Is anyone worried? That it makes him look like they're trying to shut him up and shut him down.
Sure, but it didn't happen. So
but the optics of it. So it's like, oh,
I know, I get it.
The system is working against me. I'm not part of the system. They're looking at arresting me.
Sure.
Who knows? We may never know. So what did you do on the weekend?
I wouldn't have done a hell of a lot. That's for sure. Would have just, made sure all my things are in order.
Didn't start Ramadan.
No. Just a regular weekend. Did do some brief research into Stargate, the TV show and things stemming from that. Did a bit of that.
I thought that was a documentary series.
It might as well be.
What about it? I like Stargate. I never really got right into it. I watched bits here and there.
You'd love it. Because it brings in every major religion, ancient or otherwise, into a believable place where you're like, okay, so ancient humans met all these old gods and that's what they based all their myths on and all that sort of stuff. They sort of explain all that in the prism of this show, which is, them traveling the galaxy through these interdimensional or interplanetary gateways.
To actually deal with religion and religious concepts.
Absolutely. So the Goa'uld are the Egyptians' gods, and there's like there'll be other gods from other regions. Like there'll be a Greek one. There are Norse ones. Sort of goes about sort of legitimizing all of Earth's religions into this, like, they were actually visited by gods. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, I see. This would have gone right over my head when I was watching it. I was probably watching it when I was about like 14 or something.
Well, it was 1994 when the movie came out, 1997 when the show came out. We weren't equipped to understand the concepts, but it was Egypt, so it looked cool, like they were, like the movie's very cool, very Egyptian.
I do remember a lot of Egyptian flavors at some point. I don't know whether it was the movie or the show, but I definitely saw the movie and I've seen bits of the show.
Well, SG-1, the first series, is basically them dealing with Ra's brother, Apophis, and I've talked about him before.
Oh, the Apophis level threat. Yes.
Now,
the Apophis, which is actually an asteroid, as we talked about, which is theoretically,
yeah. We could be in trouble. With this one, it's an asteroid. It's 800 meters across. It's not 10 kilometers across, as was the Chicxulub.
The Chicxulub. Yeah, that was 10
kilometers. Chicxulub was 10
10
Ks across. This is 800 meters across, and it's got humans very scared. Now, I think that NASA or whoever named this asteroid, right? I think whoever named them probably based them off the Egyptian god Apophis or Apep, who's like an Egyptian god who he's an Egyptian god who's enemy of sun god and god of chaos. That's what I was looking for.
Right.
God
okay.
of chaos.
So Ra's brother is sort of a light and dark thing going on. So you've got a like a good and evil type situation.
Sort of. Yang. In the TV show and the movies and stuff, Apophis is his brother. I don't know if Apophis is Ra's brother in ancient Egyptian. Either way, I think they named it because it's the god of chaos, the ancient Egyptian god of chaos, because chaos is what we'd be dealing with if this thing hit. And it was discovered in 2004, so it's after the show, right? The Apophis level threat that Stargate SG-1 was alluding to back in the 90s was actually them talking about 2004, the discovery of Apophis, the asteroid.
You think they were predicting it?
Nah. Well, yeah, obviously. I think that much is clear. This thing, though, they're sending up lots of things. NASA's sending up stuff. The Koreans are sending up stuff to go to check it out, to check out Apophis. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The one that the South Koreans are launching is actually going to begin its flyby with it around 2027, which means it's almost like observing it as it does its near-Earth approach, right? Now, near Earth, I think, is like we're talking 60,000 kilometers. Is that right? the moon's 237,000 kilometers away, so it's passing between the moon and Earth, right? Which is why the scientists are so freaked out. They don't know if they have to send up Bruce Willis and the gang to go and nuke the thing again, right? They don't.
I think
know.
That would be wise, though, wouldn't it?
Well, we don't know, right? If obviously, if you did that, you could just cause a couple of asteroids to now be in near Earth at an orbit around the sun and hit Earth again potentially later.
I'm a little bit worried about Bruce's physical condition, though. That's my issue right now. Is I don't know if he's capable. You can cut it. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean,
you'd get his son or something. Figure it out. Fucking,
that would be. You'd get his son.
You'd get his son to go up and do it.
I think Bruce does actually have some. We were talking about at some point? Didn't Bruce get diagnosed with something?
Yeah, something.
It's unimportant, but he's got frontotemporal dementia.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
Diagnosed with aphasia, difficulty with language and speech. But he doesn't really need language and speech to stay on the asteroid. It's actually, he would be perfectly placed to stay on that asteroid and take it down with the nuke. When you need someone to stay on it, like in Armageddon.
And in Stargate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the crew that goes, there's one guy who's a scientist, and then they send a bunch of dudes with guns. So this is pretty much how it works. You send 8 dudes with guns or 7 dudes with guns and 1 scientist. That's how you do it. Right? If you're playing at home. If you ever have to go on an expedition like this, that's what you bring.
Definitely.
Sort of Daniel Jackson, the scientist, thought that the job was to establish comms, see if there was anyone living there, and try and get friendly, But he finds out from Kurt Douglas. What's his name? Kurt Russell. Who's Jack O'Neill, the colonel, right? He's there on the mission, and he says, no, my mission was not your mission. My mission was to see if there was any threat to Earth, and if there was, fucking nuke them. So similar concept, Armageddon and Stargate, we're dealing with nukes. Nukes must have been really big in the 90s. We must have been thinking a lot about nukes in the 90s.
Yeah, we've always liked a good nuke. Hey, you're quite right. So the 2 of the co-discoverers of the asteroid are reportedly fans of the television series Stargate SG-1. One of the show's persistent villains is the alien named Apophis. He's one of the principal threats to the existence of civilization on Earth through the first few seasons.
Yes.
Thus likely why the asteroid was named after him.
Wow, there you go. It was SG-1 then. It wasn't the ancient Egyptian god.
It says Apophis is the Greek name of Apep, an enemy of the ancient Egyptian sun god Ra. And
he's usually a snake. We got more serpent.
Serpent. Really?
So he's a serpent, which it also marries with the whole comet thing, which, oh boy, starting to all make sense again.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And I have a whole new appreciation for the rainbow serpent.
Yeah. So it says here in 2029, Apophis will pass Earth closer than geosynchronous communication satellites.
Wow. What? That doesn't sound right.
It says we'll come no closer than 31,000 kilometers above Earth.
So it's between 30 and 60,000 kilometers, 30,000 and 60,000 kilometers. That's the
distance, a hair's breadth in astronomical terms, is 5 times the radius of Earth, 10 times closer than the moon, and closer than the ring of geostationary satellites currently orbiting
We're going to see this thing.
Whoa, it'll be the closest asteroid of its size in recorded history. On that date, it'll become as bright as magnitude 3.1, in brackets, visible to the naked eye from rural as well as darker suburban areas, visible with binoculars from most locations.
Oh, my God.
We have to go out and check it out. We have to go out to a rural area.
Yeah, put it in your calendar for the potential ending of the world, 2029.
Oh, no, the close approach will be visible from Europe, Africa, and Western Asia.
Got to go somewhere else. If it's the potentially end of the world, I mean, you got to go somewhere else.
That's pretty cool, though.
No, but a lot of people are chucking things up to go look at this thing. They are chucking a lot of things up to go look at it.
Yeah, it takes a while to get there. Like you're saying, we got some samples back from Ryugu. The Japanese sent some.
Isn't that Bennu?
No, that one hasn't come back yet.
Bennu's about to come back.
Yeah, Ryugu, they've got material from that, and they made some. They found some very primitive forms of amino acids and things on it, which they say is pretty fascinating because they're the building blocks of life. So they're saying the building blocks of life could have come from asteroids.
Yeah.
Saying there's no life on there. It's just building blocks.
Yep. Fascinating.
Apophis. Yeah, we do need to put that in the calendar. One day we'll be able to analyze all our material, and all the times we said put it in the calendar, it's just going to auto-populate.
You hope so. But this is the Apophis level threat that we're dealing with. And it's only 800 meters across. Doesn't sound like a lot. Apparently, it would cause a mass extinction. It's wild.
Well, we can do that asteroid impact game to see what kind of damage.
800 kilometer. Yeah. 800 meter. 800 kilometer, you'd be dealing with some damage.
Can you get that up for us?
Where is that?
It's
asteroid. What is it? Impact predict
simulator.
Earth impacts program impact calculator down to Earth. Yep. Okay.
The only reason I say it because I'm just going to get up some. We need to know what kind of material it is.
I'm doing a 45-degree angle of entry.
Yeah, why not?
800 meters is pretty much. I don't know what the velocity would be.
Okay, I can tell you that.
Oh yeah, give us the velocity. The highest I can go is 80 kilometers a second. That's it.
Will be. My guess is it'll be around 20,000 kilometers a second.
That's not on my list. I can only go 80 kilometers a second.
Oh no! I said. Oh, sorry. I said 20. I was saying 20,000 meters a second. It is 30. It is average orbital speed is 30.73 kilometers per second.
All right, we'll go with that. But wouldn't it be pulling it in at that point? We should go a bit faster.
Nah, let's just keep it with the. I mean, we can, but let's just keep it with the.
This is not the impact one that I wanted.
That's all right. Well, why not?
This is not the website I was on before.
Oh, isn't it?
No. Which one am I meant to be on? Have you got one?
I can't. I had it last time, but I'm not sure what it was. Just trying to find
because it had a little map, didn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll type in map.
Oh, well, I've got something here that says possible impact effects in Wikipedia anyway.
Oh, for that one. Yeah, let's go. Let's have a look.
So it's 1,200 megatons of TNT is what its estimated kinetic energy equivalent would be. In comparison, the Chicxulub impact, which caused the mass extinction event responsible for wiping out the dinosaurs, has been estimated to have released about as much energy as 100 million megatons. So this is a factor of like 0.001 of that. The exact effect of any impact would vary based on the asteroid's composition. That's what we're going for, which I couldn't find out.
We're going to find out that. They're sending up things to figure out its composition.
True.
Actually, no, they're not. They did that for Bennu, but they haven't. They're not doing that for Apophis yet. They're doing a big scan of it though. It's going to orbit it for like 2.5 years.
The James Webb Space Telescope can probably just look at it and then analyze its composition. And the location and angle of any impact. Any impact would be extremely detrimental to an area of thousands of square kilometers, but would unlikely to have long-lasting global effects, such as the initiation of an impact winter. That sounds nasty, an impact winter.
That's one of the ones where the dust is in the sky for, 100 years or whatever.
Yeah, and causes massive climate shift.
It's Game of Thrones shit. You're beyond the wall.
Yeah. Assuming Apophis is 370 meter wide, stony asteroid with a density of 300 grams per cubic meter.
Sounds about right.
If it were to impact into sedimentary rock, Apophis would create a 5.1 kilometer impact crater. Sweet. Put it in the calendar.
Oh, shit.
Man, I had an impact crater in my bedroom on Saturday night. It was, I bought some IKEA furniture. I bought a big what do you call it? Like a drawers, just drawers.
Chest of drawers.
Big chest of drawers. Yeah, it's low but quite long. And you know so you put that together it takes like 2-3 hours, right, to get that thing together.
Yeah, with breaks.
With some breaks. And then I start pulling the stuff out of the current setup. First, I had to move the bedroom around to create room to make this thing. So things are just starting to go ape shit in there. Then all the rooms around the bedroom start suffering because the stuff starts filling up. You start moving stuff. Going, I'm just going to put it here for now. Just put it here for now. And now already we're all pretty messy. Had a few big weeks with the wedding and coming back from Japan. Things are just getting a bit out of control. Then you
Understandable.
And then you start pulling out all the clothes from where they're currently residing.
Yes.
And you realize you got too many.
Too many clothes.
Way too many.
Oh, no.
Like stuff that you just don't wear. Like you haven't, it's been 3-4 years. Last time you went through your wardrobe, you thought, but there may be a time when I want to wear that. And you pop it. You
had a gutful?
I had an absolute gutful. So pretty ruthless, throwing things out.
Wow. Chucking it.
The house was just, I poked the bear and it was just a war zone in here. And then it just started coming together. Like it took till Sunday afternoon before I started seeing progress.
Oh my God.
Now the bedroom is the best it's ever looked. It's all sleek.
Oh.
It's all sleek and clean.
And you've got less clothes.
And I've got less clothes, yeah. And I've actually got more storage space because I bought the drawers, right? It did replace a smaller set of storage.
Oh, you got space to expand now. You're not going to be just chucking shit on top of shit, right?
Yeah.
When I moved house for the 10th time, I had garbage bags, and my mum, I still give her a shit about this, and I shouldn't, but I still do. I had 2 garbage bags. One was full of stuff I just didn't give a shit about. The other one was my favorite stuff in the whole world, like my favorite shirts. She took a look in both bags and sort of worked it out herself which one I meant, which one was going to get chucked out and which one was good to go. So I was so gutted. But I opened up the bag and I went, oh my God, this is the stuff I wanted to get rid of.
Oh no.
This is all the stuff I hated. I lost my cat shirt. He's got a cat with a party hat on. I lost that one. I lost my Jesus on a Velociraptor shirt, which was one of my favorites.
No. That was a classic.
The Velociraptor, as I used to call it.
Oh, Velociraptor.
It was Jesus riding, and it had a saddle. It had a saddle and everything. It was great. There was a few others, but no, I still give a shit about it, and I shouldn't because it's ancient history. I could buy those shirts again, no problem, if I wanted to.
I was just trying to find it. Jesus riding a Velociraptor. How do you spell Veloci?
It'd be VELOC, and then Google should be able to handle the rest for you.
That's what I thought. It didn't really help me. I had, there it is.
Got it?
Velociraptor's one word.
Yeah, man.
Idea. Well, there's lots of images of Jesus riding a Velociraptor.
Is there?
Surprisingly.
Riding.
Jeez, pick one. Yeah. Man, there's one where a Velociraptor is Jesus.
Okay, that's
got a halo
funky
behind it. He's wearing a robe like Jesus.
Okay, you're right. There is a fair few. There's one where it's a green T-shirt with a purple drawing of Jesus.
Oh, yes, I recognize it. Yeah,
that's the one. I think I'm going to buy that shirt again.
You should.
We should do T-shirts.
Yeah, what will we put on it?
I'll come up with some stuff.
What about we can ride a cuttlefish?
Oh, yeah. You like cuttlefish?
Yeah, cuttlefish are cool.
I only see their failures.
Okay, in what way?
I've never seen them win. All I've seen is they're fucking washed up skeletons on the beach. I've never seen them have a win.
But do you know that they're just dying of, their skeletons are washing up on the beach because they're living to old age.
Those are the old ones.
Sleep, and then they're getting washed up. If they got
right.
eaten by a shark, they're in the belly of a whale and getting So they're doing. I think they're doing all right. The fact you see so many the bones of all their predecessors means they're absolutely killing it.
Washing up with their loved ones, sending them off, sometimes with their partners,
Well, cuttlefish do a weird thing, actually. I've watched a lot of David Attenborough, right?
On cuttlefish, yeah.
Yes, and there's two types of males. They've evolved two different styles of male.
Yep. So you've got females still, right?
Yeah, you got females.
Male 1, male 2.
Yeah, so male 1 is your jock, your aggressive, large, angry.
Yep. We'll call him A because then you can do because he's the alpha, right?
Literally the alpha cuttlefish.
Right.
Everyone's scared of him.
You've told me about this.
I probably have.
The beta cuttlefish.
Yeah, tell me what you know.
What do they do? They do something funky.
Well, they can't compete with the alphas because they're not as big and burly as those gentlemen. So they pretend to be women.
Yes.
The big male cuttlefish have a couple of females they keep around them or below them, and they're dropping their little sperm packets with their tentacles down to the women below them, and anyone that comes up to mess with him, he chases them away. But so they know they can't compete with that. So they pretend to be a female where they look slightly smaller and a bit different. And they slide in under the male. And the male thinks he's got 4 bitches under him. But he's got 3 bitches and a girly bloke. And the girly bloke is doing the old backhander, sliding his sperm packets into the women down there. So he doesn't know. He thinks he's got this, this fivesome with 4 girls, but really he's got a 3-on-2
orgy.
Mm. But he doesn't even know it. It's kind of weird. Can you imagine being in an orgy and later you find out one of them was a dude? It would be pretty upsetting for the alpha cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Unless he's down with it. Like, it's kind of awkward when he tries to give a sperm packet to the little bloke.
Oh, does David Attenborough show that bit?
No, he doesn't show it, but you presume that's what's...
What does he do? The pretend? Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Nice sperm packet.
Yeah, so it's pretty weird. But yeah, and so they've evolved separately because obviously there's 2 ways of being successful. There's being the biggest male, and there's looking like sort of fitting in with the women and passing on your genes that way.
Yeah, it's their sort of their advantage.
Yeah.
And hence why there can be more.
Actually, this reminds me, speaking of sort of sexual things, you know how I look through the local paper and there's sometimes like a sexploration segment that I've gone into a couple of times? It's not always in the paper, and it's not always good either. A lot of the times it's pretty lame. I think I've only gone into it twice. But there's this new girl, Amanda Lambros, a sexologist and relationship coach who takes pride in her no BS approach to solving your problems. And you can send in, they got her email and everything there if you got a question for her. And look, I only just started. The ones that I like, I read the first sort of, paragraph. Each paragraph's like 2 lines. I was like, paragraph or 2. And I think, this is going places. So I don't really know if it's a good idea or not. It's quite long, so I don't want to get, but I'll give you the flavor for it.
Let's go.
I have a great relationship with my partner. The other night whilst having sex, my penis bent and I think I broke my penis. Mm-hmm. Is this even possible? The pain was unbearable and it now looks like there's a bend in it. I'm now worried about having sex with my partner again, even though she told me that it will be fine. So that's the question.
Great question.
Great question. I mean, I've never thought that I broke my penis, but I've had a painful kink in it.
Yeah, close calls.
Thanks for asking about a potential penile fracture. I can't begin to imagine the pain that you must have been experiencing, and it sounds as though it was traumatic enough for you to now be hesitant with your partner. In order to understand what's occurred, you need to understand the structure of the penis. Do we need to go? Essentially, there are 3 tubes or cylinders in the penis, 2 called the corpus cavernosum, the 2 at the top, and 1 called the corpus spongiosum, the 1 at the bottom. These 3 tubes, not bones, create the shaft of the penis. Okay, so I won't go into a full. I think we've heard enough about that.
Right.
Let me just scan it for something.
Do you think a sexologist, when she goes home, like she's like done with thinking about sex for the day, just hates doing sex at home because it's like your work? You know what I mean? It's your job. Or do you think she's really into it?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe anything you do too much of, anything you treat.
But
as
once
a job,
you know about all the tubes in the dong, isn't the magic just gone? You know, and I think that more to the point that like once something becomes your job, like if I became a sexologist, how keen am I going to be to get sexy?
Yeah, because I mean, she's talking about fractured
broken
penises.
Dicks. Yeah, broken dicks all day. Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty. If you were talking about broken dicks all day, you wouldn't be like, "Oh God, I can't wait to go home and have a non-broken dick."
Yeah, she's dealing with all the problems, isn't she? She's not like watching.
No, she's fixing
porn.
stuff. There'd be like bits where they'd come in and be like, "Yeah, that was great. Like, thanks for your help and stuff." There'd be rewarding moments like that.
As mentioned above, although the penis doesn't have any bones, it can still be fractured.
Oh God.
If the corpus cavernosum is bent during thrusting, they can snap, which is where the fracture occurs.
Oh, no. He snapped his corpus whatever, dick.
Yeah. Long-term damage, urinary infection. Seeking medical advice. It just keeps getting worse.
No.
Highly recommended.
Oh, yeah, what?
The medical advice.
Medical. Go get it checked out. Jeez. Stop writing into a newspaper. Get it checked.
Oh, shit. It's important to realise that a trauma to the penis can occur, as mentioned in the question, but also while rolling over in bed on an erect penis.
Oh, yeah,
and
don't
many
do that.
other ways. Jeez, I didn't realise that I was in harm's way.
Just be careful. Everybody, be careful.
Oh, they've done research on penile fractures.
Of course they have.
Explain. The average age for a penile fracture is 31. So we've
that's the average.
Assuming you haven't had
it becomes less and less more likely from now on because the average age is 31.
Oh yeah, it's a mental game once you have a penis fracture as well, right? Because then you never really want to really go for it, right?
Well, if you can get it just rolling over in bed, I imagine you'd get over that pretty quick. But yes, if there's trauma associated with a sexual experience, that would be pretty hard.
Yeah, you'd be terrified. You'd want to be.
Oh, you would be. Speaking of sexy things, are we done with the broken dog?
Yeah, no, that's
are we done?
pretty much at the end of it, yeah.
Speaking of sexy things, Chris Rock more or less confirmed that, what was really going on with the Will Smith Oscars slap in his stand-up special.
Did he?
What I said months ago when it happened, and I said it on the show, that looked to me like Will Smith was like upset, probably not about the joke, probably about other stuff, like his wife banging his son's friend. That was that's worse than what the joke was. But Chris Rock bore he got slapped at the Oscars. Because, and I think he points it out on the stand-up that like most people when they have, their partner cheat on them or something, usually there's a pretty tough conversation, one that you have with your partner, not on live on YouTube.
Mm.
That's a pretty rough spot to put someone in to go and talk about all that stuff live or whatever.
Did you say you watched this?
I watched the bit about this in the stand-up, and he essentially said Will Smith didn't care about the joke. He cared that, like, I was talking even just about her. He thought I was going to go there. He must have thought I was going to go there, even though I didn't.
Did he actually say that? He thought?
No. It's just like he was like, he didn't slap me because of the joke. He slapped me because his wife slept with his son's friend. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, that hurts more than anything I could have said. You know, like that would hurt someone more than anything I said or could ever say.
Than a penis fracture.
Or a G.I. Jane joke. I mean, come on,
it's
guys.
on the same level as a penis
fracture.
Come
on, guys. It's atrocious. So I thought that was kind of fun. Because when it all happened, he didn't say anything about it. He didn't talk about it.
No, he didn't, did he? He didn't say anything.
He was saving it for his special. That's fair. Like, he was doing that. The first time he was going to talk about it was going to be on his show, like in something like that.
It's like Stormy Daniels. He waits for wait for the right moment. Go to the media to sell your story.
Yeah, which I thought was the point of hush money.
Maybe Will Smith could have paid some hush money.
just wait till you stand up special. I was going to do that anyway. Wow. All right then. All right. I don't know. Is he out of the bin? I don't know. Has anyone checked lately? Is he out of the bin? Is Will Smith out of the bin? Have you checked?
No. What do you mean out of the bin?
Well, usually my sort of definition of out of the bin is when they've got sort of upcoming projects that they're working on. Like, you know, if something like your Johnny Depp, when Johnny Depp had his sort of legal issues, he got dumped from Pirates of the Caribbean, and, you know, upcoming movies were sort of like, oh, he's a bit hot at the moment. We can't really touch him. So I need to know what his IMDb page says so that I can see if he's got anything in the tubes.
He looked a bit shabby last time I saw Will Smith in some kind of thumbnail of a video or some picture online.
Well, he's an old man. He was born in 1968.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, I have a saucy, scandalous story, a little bit like the, what's her name? Jada Pinkett, whatever her name is.
Like that?
Yeah, like that. It's almost as saucy as that.
Wow, it's on that level.
It's on that level, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And you thought this would be a good time to bring it up?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
But the sauciness comes later. You might not really know where I'm going with it to start with.
Totally fine. Let's go on. Let's go.
I'm going to read from this article.
Is it the broken?
No broken, no fractured urethras involved. In 1802, Ludwig van Beethoven asked his brothers to request that his doctor describe his malady, which is like your disease, his progressive hearing loss. I don't know what malady is. I'm just going to Google that. Is that?
Yeah, I thought for a second there he was being like addressed as a lady.
That's what I thought. Malady is a disease or ailment. His progressive hearing loss to the world upon his death. So as far as possible, sorry, in brackets, in quotation marks, as far as possible, at least the world will be reconciled to me after my death. So he basically wants his brothers, he wanted them to publish the news. If they can find anything about his disease, they want him to publish it so it can help other people.
Right.
Now, so he consented in that sense to them invading his privacy in that way. But what's happened is today, 2 centuries later, more than 2 centuries later, a team of researchers have analysed DNA lifted from locks of his hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So they say their primary goal was to shed light on Beethoven's health problems, which famously include progressive hearing loss, beginning in his mid to late 20s and eventually leading him to be functionally deaf by 1818. We were unable to find a definitive cause for Beethoven's deafness or gastrointestinal problems. this scientist says. However, we did discover a number of significant genetic risk factors for liver disease. We also found evidence of an infection with hepatitis B virus in at latest the months before the composer's final illness. Those likely contribute to his death. So, firstly, they're kicking a man whilst he's down. They're releasing this medical evidence of hepatitis B viruses, liver disease, slandering him. He's got hearing loss, and he
Don't
says,
speak ill of the dead,
right? But this is where the sauciness comes into it, though.
Mm-hmm.
They uncovered another surprise. Beethoven's Y chromosome doesn't match that of any of 5 modern-day relatives carrying the same last name and sharing, on the basis of genealogical records, a common ancestor with Beethoven's paternal line. The finding points to an extramarital event somewhere over the generations on Beethoven's father's side. He must be rolling in his grave.
Right. Are they talking about his dad now?
Well, actually, you know what? It's not. It's his father's side, so who knows when exactly. But this is blasphemous. This is defamatory. He says, do some research and let everyone know about my disease so we can help other people. Meanwhile, we're banding his family history out about.
I know. I don't think that was agreed upon. I think he was more, trying to find a cure for deafness and help people who have hearing problems, not to find out who his dad was banging, right?
No, they could find nothing to do with his hearing.
I thought you were going to say that we found his hair. So I thought you were going to say we found his hair. Ipso facto, we're cloning him. We're going to have Beethoven back. Put it in your calendar. Chuck 20 years in. Put it in your calendar, and we'll have little Beethoven. He'll be 20 years old by that point.
Well, I'm sure someone's. If we've got his DNA, they're probably. Keeping that file safe. So when we do get to the point of, I don't know, recreating, like, who did we do? We did the sheep, right? We did that. Who was it? Dolly. We did Dolly. We can do Beethoven, can't we?
Yeah, surely.
But then you start. Do you want to bring a bastard? This sort of liver diseased. He's got hearing loss. We don't even know what caused the hearing loss. How many genetic problems does one have to have?
No, but he's not being born into 1808. He's being born into 2023.
Oh,
so
but he's riddled. He's absolutely riddled.
We'll fix all that. It'll be fine.
Oh, the gastrointestinal.
So
problems.
Who are we going to clone then? We got to clone somebody. Who do you want to clone then? We've got to bring someone back. And do we have their hair? That's the other question.
Yeah.
You need to have their hair. Maybe a pharaoh or something. Should we bring back a pharaoh?
We could do Tutankhamun.
Yep, grab Tut. No, but again, riddled.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
What took...
Well, he's like the boy king, right? He died when he was very young.
Oh, okay, who knows?
Didn't he get whacked in the head, though? I'm pretty sure that's not a sickness.
I don't even know.
Getting, cracked in the head's not really a sickness. Death of Tutankhamun? Is that where we...
Yeah.
Well, I need to know what happened to him. What happened at the end. Study from the Journal of American Medical Association found that King Tut died from complications from a broken leg exacerbated by malaria.
Okay. Oh, also, I've got an answer to your question about who to bring back.
Excellent.
I think we need to go with Queen Elizabeth.
Liz.
She's got great genes.
They're probably going to bring her. They probably will. They're
probably working on that right now. She had a great run.
I actually predicted that as well.
Did you?
If it ends up happening.
Is that one of your predictions?
Yeah. It's another one of my nostros. Yeah. Who has consented to this? Has anyone put in their will, by the way, if cloning comes up and I'm a candidate, put me in?
Yeah, but you're not going to your
You don't come
consciousness.
back. Yeah.
So I'm going to say yes.
It's just
Actually, why would I care? Why would I care? This is great though because we can consent. Is this proper consent? If you just verbal,
if it's just known,
just verbal consent. If someone got this,
I don't know.
I'm going to hold on that. I'm not going to give a definitive answer one way or the other.
No cloning yet.
We touched on it last week. I don't want to leave people hanging, but Rolls-Royce got funding to develop a miniature nuclear reactor for a moon base.
Mm-hmm. So this is to power the base.
How
did they get the gig? Have we got any other people working on nuclear reactors?
We probably do, but maybe Rolls-Royce, that'll be a bit fancier maybe.
Oh, maybe it'll look cool. Like a Rolls-Royce style nuclear reactor, which look way better than the ones that you see in the movies and on television documentaries. They're all very metally in the movies and in real life. I'm sure Rolls-Royce would come up with something very sleek, very cool.
I think too many scientists have got their grubby little mitts on this nuclear reactor, and we need someone with a little bit of style, something that's going to be timeless. We want a timeless reactor.
You think Rolls-Royce are timeless? I think they're quite old looking.
I don't really know what a Rolls-Royce looks like now that we say it.
Well, they're the big cars.
They're big, heavy ones, right?
Yeah, they got the doors that open the other way, don't they?
It doesn't even really matter what they look like. The name.
Right. Oh, the name exemplifies like luxury. It talks about like the best of the best potentially, right? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
They better run good. So they're doing nuclear reactors.
Run terribly. They do look old, don't they?
They don't look timeless.
They look like what's that? The 300C. Who does the 300C? I know nothing about cars. I hired one.
No. But what are we looking at here? The Rolls-Royce 2023. Actually, that does look pretty. That looks pretty baller, really, doesn't it? Is that a thing? The Rolls-Royce 2023 model,
don't Rolls-Royce do aircraft as well? So what, are they into cars, aircraft? Where's ChatGPT?
Well, I didn't know they did aircraft.
Don't they? ChatGPT will know.
The world's fastest all-electric vehicle, Rolls-Royce plane.
What? Oh, what?
The Rolls-Royce have made a plane, or maybe it's a concept for a plane. New electric. It's an electric. Rolls-Royce electric aircraft sets 3 speed records. World's fastest electric vehicle. It's a plane.
I know Elon was thinking about electric planes. I didn't know.
He's
put a lot of thought
commercial
into
planes. It. Sure. During its record-breaking runs, the aircraft clocked up a max speed of 623 kilometers per hour. 623 kilometers an hour.
623. That doesn't seem very fast.
Oh, it's fast. It's an electric plane.
Okay, Rolls-Royce is a leading manufacturer of aircraft engines, both for civil and military applications. See, this is how they're getting the gig. They have the military UK Space Agency is the one that's funding Rolls-Royce to create this nuclear reactor. It's interesting. I would have thought they'd be American, but anyway.
What's the deal? You launch it up and then what? Drop it.
They hope to have a demonstration model for a modular microreactor ready to deliver to the moon by 2029.
Wow. What's a microreactor? It still sounds potentially deadly, doesn't it?
It sounds like a dirty bomb on the moon. That's what it sounds like. They say it's going to provide the groundwork for powering continuous human presence on the moon, which makes sense. The majority of space travel is powered by solar energy, it notes, which is great until you are on a body that has a light side and a dark side.
Yes. Like the moon?
Like the moon, yes. As soon as you're on a celestial body.
Yeah.
No, the dark side of the moon is just a saying. Like, it still gets light. It just doesn't.
Of course.
Yeah. But there'll be periods where you don't have access to solar, so you do need some kind of base level power. Okay, so they're into aerospace. Defense. Rolls-Royce also provides a range of products and services for the defense sector, including naval propulsion systems, combat jet engines, and electronics. So they're part of the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, seems like that's the path, isn't it?
Power systems. Rolls-Royce designs and manufactures power systems for a variety of applications such as electricity generation, marine propulsion, and mining equipment, and micro reactors. Nuclear. This is actually one of their business streams. Rolls-Royce provides advanced nuclear technologies and services, including nuclear reactor design, construction, and maintenance. I had no idea.
Holy moly.
It's a diversified
company. How do you get into the nuclear power game?
We should get in the nuclear power game. Wait, were you looking at the future cars, the 2023 Rolls-Royce?
No, but I was looking at the 2023 Rolls-Royce.
No, something's wrong with this. Let me send you this. This isn't right. I'll put it in pictures. This is a joke. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
What the fuck are we looking at?
I don't know.
Looks like Cyberpunk.
The 2023 Rolls-Royce Silent Shadow. It's an EV. The Silent Shadow sounds real creepy.
This is Rolls-Royce?
Yeah. If I see one of those on the what there's no clearance. If you go over one bump, your whole wheel hub's gonna fall off.
Well, every car company's doing an electric thing, so this is their electric thing, and oh my lord.
I've actually got quite a lot of stuff to go through that's backed up from last week that I didn't get to.
What?
I haven't looked at these articles. I haven't looked at these articles fucking twice, so it's going to be ugly. But we're talking about hibernation on long space flights now.
Are we studying the bears? We should be
studying the bears.
We should be loading. We should be loading up on salmon. You know, load them all up on salmon.
Oh, that works for the bears. Yeah. What else do they do?
Yeah. And they get into a cave. Okay, so we design caves on the spacecraft.
We need to think like a bear.
Yep. Salmon. Get the salmon. Shitloads of salmon. Keep eating the salmon. You're eating as much salmon as you want. You're not hungry. Eat the salmon. You are hungry. Eat the salmon. And raw. Straight out of the stream. That's prep. That's called prep. You do that on Earth.
I've asked ChatGPT what are bears' favourite activities.
Good. This will help you become more acclimatized to the life of a bear in preparation for your hibernation, which is coming up for your space flight to Mars, which is what? How long is a space flight to Mars? Only 3 months or something, right?
It's a year.
No.
It's a year.
It's a year?
It's a year. I think.
Here are some things you can do during that year. Take it away.
Okay, so bears are wild animals and do not have the capacity for preference or enjoyment of activities in the same way that humans do. That is bullshit.
That's a good start.
Bullshit.
That's a good start.
However, based on their natural behaviours and instincts, bears typically spend their time foraging for food. So foraging, how much foraging?
Getting the salmon.
Yeah, but how do you do that on a spacecraft?
No. This is all prep. Because on the spacecraft is hibernation time. It's cave time. You need to prep on Earth. You're doing all your prep here. So forage, yes, tick.
Sleeping.
Sleep. Get some Z's.
Get some sleep before the hibernation.
Ooh, is that a smart? I would have thought you'd want to stay up for as long as possible.
I think so. But if you're going to think like a bear, maybe we should be sleeping.
Get some naps in.
Interacting with their surroundings.
What does that mean?
That's very broad, isn't it?
Yes.
That's just like
pushing over a tree. What is that? Pushing over a branch?
Oh, they're known for their excellent sense of smell.
Good.
Yes. And spend a significant portion of their day searching for food, such as berries, nuts, and insects.
Oh, they eat insects and berries. All right, so you're going to have to start doing that if you want to hibernate properly. Yep.
They may also hunt for fish and other small animals.
Salmon. Let's go.
They're still banging on about sleeping again.
Getting your naps in.
Oh, here we go. Bears also engage in social behaviors such as communicating with each other through vocalizations.
Yep, so you can talk.
You can talk. Scent markings.
Have a shit over here.
Have a fart.
Yep, farts.
Don't lie about it.
Do not lie about the fart. Make sure you vocalize the fart and its origins.
Yeah, they go on for a bit longer. Nothing really exciting. Okay, let me get to the real meat and potatoes of this. Okay, and also I have to say now that when we're not really going to do it, you say that you will do it within 10 years because no one really in 10 years' time, no one's sort of saying where's the hibernating on long space flights. You say
Right.
you push it back. You say another 10. In 5 years' time, you say it's another 10. But they say in this article, the first hibernation studies with human subjects could be feasible within a decade, the European Space Agency researcher.
What are we talking about? A trial? Are we talking about freezing someone for a couple of months and then going unfreeze and they're okay? Is that what we're talking about?
Maybe. Research
We're talking about
animals,
human trials.
Human trials. Research in animals suggests that bodies of hibernating astronauts might waste away much less than the bodies of those awake in microgravity.
What the fuck is that?
Awake
in microgravity just means existing.
Existing, yes. Which is fascinating because your body deteriorates really fast in microgravity.
Yeah, your muscles
your bone
and stuff.
density,
Yeah.
muscles. But I've read this before, and I remember that the crux of it is when in hibernation, you actually don't waste away as much. Anyway, that's what they just said, but we'll get to it. Hibernation, also known as torpor.
Why is it known as that?
That's just what's known as. TORPOR has long been a staple of sci-fi space movies. Alien, Space Odyssey, it mentions.
Tick.
Despite being a sci-fi trope, putting humans in long-term induced torpor may not be as far-fetched after all.
Right.
Depending on funding, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not important. Okay, first studies have shown that it is possible to induce torpor in otherwise non-hibernating animals, such as rats, and bring them back safely to life a few days later. The process of triggering hibernation is rather intricate and involves reduced exposure to daylight and period of intense feeding followed by a strict fast.
It's the bears.
Exactly. It is the bears.
It's the bears.
The rats receive a drug, a neurotransmitter substance, and are brought back into a dark space with reduced temperature.
Sounds frightening.
Like a cave.
Sounds like a cave.
Works very nicely, but the problem is that you have to apply the signaling molecule repeatedly to maintain the state. I can't fucking read.
You're basically triggering a sleep state almost over and over again.
With this particular neurotransmitter. And it says you need to maintain very high levels of the neurotransmitter that could have a deleterious effect over the long term. So that's where the studies need to come in.
It's fascinating.
But they say torpor may be the only way forward for long-duration space missions. Loss of bone and muscle mass is a big issue for spacefarers.
Which they deal with by doing exercises and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
but they come back, they can't even – they get literally carried away to the hospital when they land. They're jellyfish. Even at the International Space Station, where high-tech fitness machines are available and strict exercise protocols are followed, astronauts lose up to 20% of their muscle mass in a month. Their bones get gradually weaker too. Footage of crews returning to Earth frequently show fragile beings transported by medical personnel in wheelchairs and stretchers. But there will be no
wonder
support.
the aliens go straight to the hospital. They've got jelly legs.
They would, wouldn't they? They would not be able to handle the gravity down here. Maybe they need some kind of exoskeleton.
Nah, they're just jelly creatures communicating with their minds.
Because they make the point here, there's no support crews waiting by after a landing on Mars. But Mars's gravity isn't as strong as Earth's either.
Jeez, yeah, it'd be a tough first couple of days. I'll watch that episode of Outlast.
Oh my God, it'll be
Mars
so good.
edition.
Do you know how much money they're going to make from the rights? So research shows that the effects of microgravity on the human body resemble those of long-term bed rest. Strangely, bed rest whilst hibernating doesn't seem to result in such effects at all. Unlike a patient recovering from a long-term illness or medical coma, an animal waking up from hibernation shows surprisingly high fitness levels, which is bonkers. And also, a bear comes out and they're moving and shaking. No, they're going like they're finding.
They're ready. I would have thought they'd be like.
But no, this is the thing. Coming up from waking up from hibernation, you don't actually lose. You don't. Yeah, they come up. They say they.
Yeah, but there's a reason why you eat
fitness.
a lot before you go in, right? There's a reason why you have
still
to
want
load up.
You still want to load up. Yeah.
Yep, you got to load up.
So animals in hibernation, show high fitness levels when they awake, and they actually don't suffer much muscle loss, which is quite surprising after months of just lying and sleeping in a cave.
Apparently, it's not that surprising because bears. Yep.
I'm nearly done here. Unlike a sleeping brain, a hibernating brain produces barely any electromagnetic activity. The heart rate of an animal in torpor drops to only a few beats per minute, and its body temperature declines to what would otherwise be considered dangerous hypothermia. It doesn't sound safe.
It doesn't sound safe at all, but they're doing it to the rats for a few days at a time. And the bears have been doing it for ages in their caves. And,
it's actually quite a party trick, isn't it? Yeah, there's a reason. Yeah,
they've been trying to hide that knowledge from us potentially. Maybe they've been doing it on purpose. As we've said in the past, those bears, man, they're sneaky.
They are very sneaky, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yogi Bear. There's a reason why the Yogi Bear character is a representative of the bears.
And represented as quite intelligent as well.
Studies show that the slowed down cells of a hibernating body don't get damaged by radiation, which is one of the biggest health concerns during long duration space missions. So torpor,
solves a few problems.
It solves a lot of problems, and they're saying it may be the only way forward for long duration space missions. So
and I got a fix for the other thing as well.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to send robots to start building the base before we get there. Just make sure they send a medical robot up there, medical one. Just to give them a help off the ship and stuff when they get there, and maybe to administer some, drugs when they come to.
They're saying that they make a very good point right at the end here as well, because some people say, we don't understand how it works, so we shouldn't be trialing it in humans.
Right.
And this researcher makes the point that we don't actually understand how anesthesia works, but we use it every day, and it's just trial and error. Like you just start figuring, you go, this does this. We're like, we don't know how it's doing it, but it's functional, it's practical.
Yep. You would imagine they wouldn't crank the machine to maximum on the first go as well. They'd probably just go, how does that feel in there? And he goes, it's a bit cold. It's a bit chilly. And they go, sorry. All right, you're done. And they bring the next person in. They go, like, just a little bit colder than that. They're basically going to dial it up till they're dead, right? And when they go, that's dead, dial it back a little bit. Keep testing.
Exactly. We're going to lose a few.
Yeah, not putting my hand up for 1.0. But imagine a place, right? Like koala storage. You ever driven past that on the freeway?
There's another branch of that just near my place.
All right, so you got one of those places, right?
Yeah.
They're filled with cryostasis pods, right? You book yourself in. You go, hey, look, I'm kind of interested to see, like, 2022. That was like you're thinking about last year. You're like, wasn't very good. I didn't really like it that much. I want to see what's happening later. Right? Or you're planning a family holiday, but it has to be in 2040. So you're all going into stasis now, to have the holiday in 2040. You know what I'm saying? So you'd book yourself into the koala storage place. You'd say, hello, 20 years, please. They go, great. You'll be coming out 2043. You go, yep, sounds good. right? And they just lock you up, chuck you under the thing, give you the salmon.
Pop you in a torpor pod.
Yeah, torpor pod. And you just you've booked it. You've booked it for 20 years or whatever. And there you go.
Can we trademark torpor pod?
Yeah, we can. We just did.
Did we?
So we need the technology now. So I think we should be engaging someone like a Rolls-Royce to design some sort of nuclear reactor to power the cryostasis center, which we also have to design, and we should probably get someone else to do that. Maybe get
what
Boeing.
I'm seeing is a business presentation.
Yes.
A special. You can be the center of excellence for this business presentation. Now, we need to encourage Rolls-Royce of the value of expanding their business enterprise into torpor pods.
Yes.
Maybe we can even we have to say they can be 3D printed torpor pods.
Right.
We're going to 3D print torpor pods.
Yep.
For space travel. I think they would love it.
I'm thinking more commercial.
Just level. Terrestrial.
Terrestrial based.
Terrestrial based torpor, 3D printed torpor pods. It's a mouthful.
Yep.
But
environmentally friendly, and we only source the universe's best water from the moons of Jupiter. And that's where we get the caves. We call them caves in the business.
Yeah. Could you imagine if
salmon in caves? That's what you call it.
The torpor pod's closing up because presumably it has like a hatch or something that it seals shut just before, and then the neurotransmitter is administered, and then you go to sleep. Imagine if just when it's about to seal up, because you know that you're going to be stuck in that sort of environment sometime, you fart, you give yourself a Dutch oven, and the panic when you realise don't administer the neurotransmitter.
Yeah, they're in the monitoring booth going, he's redlining in there. What's happened?
Something's gone wrong.
Something's happened. Oh, I've only seen this once before, and that time it was a fart. So we need to find out what's happening in there. Give me some air readings in there.
3D printing, torpor's the future, but 3D printing's the future as well.
Yeah, well, soon you're going to get your AI to 3D print your lunch or whatever. So it's all good. Maybe
not your lunch, but do you know that they launched a rocket, this mob called Relativity Space, launched a rocket called Terran 1, and it is 85% 3D printed. And it didn't get into orbit. It was a failed first attempt. But
is it a single stage rocket? What is it?
Let me tell you. I think it's 2-stage. It's 2-stage. I think the second stage didn't go to plan. It did separate fine, but I don't think the rockets engaged properly on the second stage.
Oh boy.
But they regard it as an overall success because it survived max Q, which is the part of the flight where the stress is the most on the rocket. And it separated, the first and second stages separated successfully.
Amazing. And it's probably cheaper? What's the deal?
Oh, it's so much cheaper. So that and they've proved that it's structurally viable because a lot of people, they didn't know where they could 3D print a rocket.
Right, they can.
And this is a precursor to the Terran, where is it? The Terran R. So they did the Terran 1 and its test flight was called Good Luck, Have Fun. And it's 33 meters tall, capable of delivering 1,250 kilograms into low Earth orbit. But the best thing about it, right, is say you 3D print a rocket on Earth. Now, once you figure that all out, you can 3D print rockets in space.
Well, you can 3D print things in space.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, anything. So I mean, that's half the battle is getting the material up there. But if you can just if you can just dump up material to 3D print things, you can make whatever you want up there. And then
that at the top of the rocket, it's got the payload, right?
Yeah.
It says 20,000 kegs. That's what it can take. Cargo.
I don't think it can take 20,000. I've got here at least the Terran 1 is 1,250 kilograms. It's 1.2 tons.
It says payload 20,000 kegs.
That is the Terran R, which is also going to, that's what they're building towards, which is also going to be built with 3D printing.
And that's entirely 3D printed.
Yeah, I think that with the Terran 1, they did, this first one was 85%. They're trying to get that up to 95% for future iterations of it. But their ultimate goal is the Terran R. Apparently they've already got, let me find it. They've already got, where's the funding for this thing? They've lined up so many people already. Where is it? So it launches for $12 million a piece. Oh, okay. If all goes according to plan, the company's already inked $1.65 billion worth of customer launch contracts.
There you go. It's amazing.
And they had their first launch. They didn't even get into orbit. They've inked $1.65 billion worth. So this is fueled by liquid methane and liquid oxygen. It tried to become the first Methalox rocket to reach orbit. That's what you call it when it's methane and oxygen.
Yeah, yep, that's the fuel type.
And the Methalox combo is favoured by Mars exploration advocates, as both methane and oxygen can be sourced locally on Mars. For example, SpaceX giant... so the Starship, which Elon Musk is working on for Mars colonization, is also a Methalox rocket. And that launches soon, man. I'm coming over. We're going to do we're doing a live show. This is the one where Elon says whatever happens, it's going to be interesting. So that's a Methalox rocket as well. So that we still haven't had a Methalox rocket get into orbit. And I doubt Starship, the biggest rocket we have ever launched, is going to make it. But
it's all numbers, right? It's just numbers.
Do you ever look at this stuff and think about what we're doing right now and think that we're perhaps at some kind of, not tipping point, but actually a really important moment? We're becoming spacefaring.
Yeah, but we have been for a while. No, we
haven't really been. We need to go to another planet proper. We need humans on another planet. That's the step. I think humans on the moon's one thing, but the moon's our backyard.
But we don't. No, I think living on the moon will be a big thing. Like once we've got which is the goal of the Artemis program, which is a sustained human presence on the moon. That just similar to how they have a sustained human presence in the ISS. So we started at the ISS. We have a sustained human presence on the ISS. We're going to the moon. We're going to have a sustained human presence on the moon, and then we're going to Mars, and then we'll have a sustained presence on Mars.
But that just proves my point in that we're at this point of a sustained presence on the moon is wild. And it's where we're going to see it, I think, maybe.
Yeah. You'll get a look at it.
It's really cool. It's fascinating.
Yeah, as long as we get there before the AIs kill us, right?
Yeah, we do. It's a race against the clock.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, we're talking about the things we're talking about at the moment. I know that we're all saying they're in 10 years, but some of these things happen. We're talking about this nuclear reactor on the moon. We're talking
Apophis
about
level threat.
The Apophis level threat, 2029.
6 years away. It's not far at all, is it?
No, and that's also when we're supposed to be getting the prototype of the nuclear reactor on the moon, so we might need it.
Right, so here's your story.
Could you imagine having to evacuate to the moon?
This is the story, right? The year is 2029, and Bruce Willis's son is on his way to be the sustained human presence on the moon. Now, we know that Apophis is passing between the moon and Earth, and on the way, Bruce Willis's son gets stranded on Apophis, yeah?
Wow.
And then he finds out on the asteroid that it's not an asteroid at all. It's a mothership, yeah, with Apophis on board, who's an actual bloke, and it is the guy from Stargate. just happens to be the guy from like the exact same guy, right? And he's driving the thing, and Bruce Willis's son has to stop him, take over control of the Apophis ship, and steer it away.
Shit, son. I've got some bad news for you, though.
Go on.
Bruce Willis is a girl dad.
Okay, well, all right, we have to rewrite the script a little bit.
He's got 3 daughters.
Bruce Willis's daughters are going to the moon to be the sustained human presence on the moon. On the way, they see the Apophis asteroid. It's coming in between Earth and the moon. They land on it, stranded on it.
Yeah.
And they've got to fight Apophis.
Shit, son. Oh, no.
And then nuke it.
How do you fight Apophis, do you think? Does he have any weapons? Fight him?
He's got his eyes. They've got cool eyes. Haven't you seen Stargate? They just grab you and they go whoosh, and their eyes go all funky, and then your brain sort of melts and you shake and they absorb your life force through their hand device. It's a device.
Oh, it's so technology. It's like 11 in Stranger Things kind of mental battle.
No, it's a pop it on your wrist. It's an iPhone. It's like an iWatch of the future that sucks life force out of people that you touch.
Right.
So it's technology is what I'm saying. It's technology. It's not human brain power or anything. It's literally just the thing he puts on his hand.
Yeah, okay. Which seems like magic. So Bruce Willis has 5 daughters, 3 with Demi Moore and 2 with Emma Hemming Willis.
There you go. One of them, we'll just say.
Yeah.
Or all of them, or one of them. It doesn't. I'm not bothered.
Yeah. So every week there's these crazy stories in space. Like literally in a month's time, Starship's going up.
I know. I'm excited. We are going to do that live launch, so check us out for that one. We'll do the email again, vacuousperspective@mail.com. If you got anything, we'll leave a comment. Okay. Do that. But we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Provided there's no, what do they call it? Mass extinction events between now and next week.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
All right. See you, mate.